we are going on a trip tomorrow at first light, because that's going to be a very long drive, and it's a place where you don't want to be driving in the dark because the roads can be unsafe on account of being mountainous roads. So we've been traveling for basically the whole day at this point, and we are in Sundarnagar right now, which is still a good few hours from Manali, but it looks like we're going to be able to reach in time for dinner. Now, we did have lunch while traveling, and we didn't stop anywhere, but you could probably have lunch in Chandigarh or somewhere in a dhaba from, when you're going from Chandigarh to Manali or to Shimla for that matter. And one good thing about this place is that there's a lot of alternate routes. So Google Maps will probably mess you up, which is not a good thing, I suppose, but uh, getting there the fastest isn't always via the best routes, because there's usually a lot of traffic when it is holiday season, because everybody from all of North India is rushing to these hill stations to beat the heat, just like we're doing. uh, so there's no plan as such today, because we're going to be quite late most probably by the time we reach Manali. It's going to be quite late most probably by the time we reach Manali, and we're just going to turn in at that point. But we have some plans for tomorrow, which we still have to make plans. But we have some plans for tomorrow, which we still have to make, and then we'll see.
One eternity later.
So we're finally in Manali. We had a very good, satisfying night's sleep after yesterday's really long and tiring drive. And yesterday, so the route to Manali, the Kullu to Manali road, that road runs parallel to the Beas River for some 50 kilometers, which was quite interesting actually. And yesterday, because it was already dark by the time we were crossing that road, we weren't able to see much. We could just really hear the river. And right now, the room we have, that looks out onto the river valley. So let me show you something. So that entire thing is the Beas River. I don't know if you can see the water, but it's very, very fast moving. Um, and that's probably because the source, the glacier and the snowmelt that feeds it, is quite nearby. You can also most likely hear it well because it's really, really loud. It's almost like whitewater rapids or something. And I'm sure there's some point in Kullu where you would do whitewater rafting, and there's a tempo traveler ruining my day. Plan today in Manali, our first destination is Atal Tunnel, which is a tunnel on the Leh-Manali Highway. It's basically just a 9 kilometer long tunnel through the mountain. Hold on. It's basically just a 9 kilometer long tunnel through the mountain, and it's built on the Leh-Manali Highway. Then after that, we're going to go to some place called Sisu or Shishu, which is another hill station that is around 45 minutes away from Manali, or Solang Valley, which is where we're staying. And there's a lake there, there's waterfalls and all. After that, we're going to go to Jispa Valley and then to Baralacha Pass, which is again another mountain pass on the Leh Manali Highway where people go for snow and stuff. So we're in. Oh god, we're in Atal Tunnel right now, and this is where the lights come in handy. Um, yeah, it's basically just 9 kilometers of this, and we entered through the south portal, and we're coming up on the north portal. 6.5 kilometers away. It's a two-lane road with, or a single-lane road, and everybody is in line. There's people who shout for no reason because it's a long tunnel, I guess. I don't know. But yes, we're coming up on the north portal now, and there's literally nothing to do inside of there. Stopping is an offense, as in it is illegal, apparently, from what the board said. And there's a lot of construction going on here to shore up the entire mountainside because it can cause problems. This tunnel makes the entire thing prone to a landslide. So we just came out of Atal Tunnel. Hopefully you can see the north portal behind me, and it's a lot colder on this side. You can see mountains. You can see like snow-capped mountains. There's also, it's very windy, as you can see by my hair, which is flying all over the place, and hopefully not here because of my handy dead cat. No, it's not an actual dead cat. Yeah, it's on this side, and then there's a bridge which you cross over to get over the river valley, and then there's bands. And that is a testament to just how high up we are, altitude wise, because this packet of chips is about to explode, so we're going to open it right about now. So we are about to, we've just crossed Sisu or Shishu or whatever, and we are about to reach Keelong at this point, and right now we're just about getting into the part of or the part of Himachal where snow is quite common even in summer. So I can see still frozen glaciers on top of mountains. There's melting glaciers feeding into the Beas River, which is still running parallel to the road, although at this point we're quite high up the mountain. Um, Now, this road is quite extreme. So the Leh-Manali Highway is it's not forgiving. The altitude increase is pretty constant, so you need to be careful about AMS and oxygen saturation and all. But as long as you don't have any problems, it should be fine. Carrying an oxygen cylinder would be a good idea, although we don't have one because we don't plan ahead well. And that's an oops, but it shouldn't really be a problem. We can always go back if too much of a problem arises. So there was a landslide back there on the Leh-Manali Highway. It looked like it went on for quite a while, and it would have blocked the road quite a bit, but it mostly had been cleared up by the time we got there. So we only really had to stand there for maybe 10-15 minutes, and right now we're on our way to Baralacha Pass, which is about an hour away according to Google Maps. And at this point the road is starting to get worse, but hopefully it clears up a little bit more and gets a bit less patchy in a little bit. just about reached Chandratal, not Chandratal, Baralachala, that's the one. And about 4 kilometers away from that, the mountain pass itself is this lake called Surajtal. Hopefully, you can see it, and it is seemingly all just glacier melt and snow melt. And at this point, you can see a lot of snow all over the mountains, and it's really cold as well. So we just turned back from Baralacha Pass or Baralachala, and we're back towards at Baralacha Pass. We could tell that the atmosphere was very thin. You would get winded just walking, and that is a place where you just get a photo with the milestone and don't stop there for very long. You If you've been to Khardungla, you might know that it's prohibited to be there for more than 15 minutes at a time, and it's the same kind of story with this place. um, it's 4,850 meters of altitude, which is very high. um, and you need to keep checking your O2 saturation. We checked right after, and mine was decent, but my pulse rate was very high. Other people 150 meters of altitude, and that's very high. The air is very thin up there, and that combined with the cold means that you don't want to stay there for very long. So right now we're heading back, and we're trying to get to a lower altitude as soon as possible. Right after turning back from Baralacha Pass, we checked our oxygen saturations with an oximeter, which is something I would say is pretty important, as oxygen is oxygen, and human need oxygen. But anyway, mine was decent, but my pulse rate was very high, which probably meant that my body was straining a little bit. Other people who are with me had lower oxygen saturations, and they're starting to feel that that their head is aching or like heavy or spinning, whatever, and those are all signs of altitude sickness, which is not good. So right now the plan is to get to low altitude as soon as possible and then stop for a bit to relieve ourselves.